You stated in your remarks to the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco that one of the most powerful religions in the Western world is environmentalism. Can you explain why you refer to environmentalism as a religion?
Because I have training in anthropology, the idea that anthropologists have about what constitutes a religion or what functions a religion serves are a little bit different from how you think about it if you categorize religions as, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, something like that. So from the standpoint of an anthropological view, a religion is a collective set of beliefs. There is a leader or leaders who promote the beliefs among the followers. Followers make some kind of contribution or change in their lifestyle based on the religious belief. The religious belief gives them a total view of the world in terms of how the world is structured, what's right, what's wrong, what's good action, what's bad action. That all fits perfectly onto environmentalism. The other thing that environmentalism does, which I said to this group, is that it rather precisely maps a lot of Judeo-Christian beliefs about the origin of the world and so on, so that in environmental thinking there is a view that there used to be a sort of Eden, and then people came and ruined that Eden, and that we are therefore sort of original sinners because we're destroying this planet. And what we can do, however, is get salvation through sustainability. And if you're a good person, you will seek salvation, and if you're a bad person, you'll drive SUVs.
What caused you to be so prejudiced towards this religion?
Well, I don't think it should be a religion, and I don't know, it's interesting that you said it was prejudice, that it's a disagreement. I'm not sure I would argue it's not a prejudice, that it's a different way of seeing things. The core of my argument is that if you're going to be responsive to the environment is always changing, and our understanding of the environment is always changing. And if we are to do better with the environment that we do now, and I would tell you that at this moment we have raw sewage seeping out of the Yellowstone National Park. So we're not doing a great job. I mean, I mention the parks because the parks are unlike land use where there's conflicts about should we build a house or should we build. The parks are set aside. The parks are there for us to preserve them. And it turns out we don't know how to preserve them. And we won't admit that we don't know how to preserve them. It's been a disaster what we've done. And so when I look at how we treat the environment, I think we have to be flexible. I think we have to try things and see how they turn out. We have to be ready to change course. We have to be able to adapt. We have to say we're wrong and let's do it right. We have to do research. This is all stuff that fundamentalist religions can't do. And if environmentalism is a kind of fundamentalist religion, then that's not a good way to manage the environment. We need a scientific approach. We need a non-religious approach. We need a way to look at this and do better than we've done. A lot better. It's essential. It's essential for you guys and, for your children.
What led you to believe that the facts proving the hazards of secondhand smoke are misleading and false?
Okay, before I answer, I should tell you that after we're done, if you guys want to keep talking, I'll keep sitting here and we can talk some more. Secondhand smoke is an amazing story. And the short version is that the EPA investigated it in, I think, 1991 or 2, and was not able to demonstrate that there was a carcinogenic effect. By not able to demonstrate, it means that you have to, according to the EPA guidelines, you have to have what are called 95% confidence intervals. It has to be statistically strong evidence. They couldn't get it. They did 6 studies. They combined all the studies. They still couldn't get it. They dropped their thing to 90%. To go from 95% to 90%, it's hard unless you know statistics. 90% means it may or may not be there, okay? You want 95% and 99%. They didn't have it. They nevertheless classified it as a Class A carcinogen. California was the first state to pass secondhand smoke ordinances, all of which I'm in favor of. You know, I don't like people smoking next to me. I don't feel good in places like Germany and France where they smoke right next to you. I don't want people to smoke. Smoking is bad because smoking causes cancer. But secondhand smoke does not cause cancer. And part of how I got to it was my daughter and her friends were going down the street, you know, pulling their shirts up as they passed some poor schlump out, you know, smoking a cigarette. And I said, what are you doing? And they said, oh, you know, it's cancer. It's not, you know. And what happened was in '98, a federal judge said to the EPA, you can't do this. You haven't made the case. You have broken your own guidelines. This is not demonstrated. It has never been demonstrated. I mean, believe me, there are physicians and groups dying to show it. And it has never been brought to a level of significance. It may have other effects. It's certainly unpleasant. But I'm opposed to passing laws based on phony science. I think it's a bad precedent. The Earth is definitely getting warmer. It's gotten, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 or 7/10 of a degree Celsius warmer in the last 100 years. We are increasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It's increased 30% in the last century.
We meaning humans are doing this.
Human beings, yes. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. We would expect a 30% increase to have some influence on temperature. We're also doing lots of other things that affect the temperature as it's measured in a global temperature reading. So we're, you know, cutting down the forests and doing croplands and all of that. What's basically called land use changes, or the urban heat island effect also has an effect, whether that's compensated for adequately in the way they do these calculations or not. And I said, my conclusion is that we will have 0.8 of a degree warming increase in the next 100 years. So I absolutely believe that warming is occurring, humans are involved, and where it's going to continue for the next 100 years.
Then what did you say that got everybody so upset at you?
I'm not a catastrophist. And I said one other thing too. I said, I think it is not likely that carbon dioxide is going to prove to be the primary driver.
What do you think will be the primary driver?
I think the sun, and I think there are miscalculations from urban land use, generally speaking. You can bring in 5 guys to talk about whether Antarctica, the core of Antarctica, is getting colder or not. Everybody agrees the peninsula, which is 2% of the mass, is getting warmer. And, you know, they'll argue and argue and argue, and you'll come away after an hour saying, I don't know what the answer is, and that's the reality. Nobody really knows that. But what I said in my book, and I defy anybody to tell me I'm wrong, is I said nobody knows how fast it's going to get warmer, and nobody knows for sure what the various contributions of warming are. If there's anything that's so weird for me, it's this, that you can talk to scientists and you say, what do you think of that shop corner with a neon sign that says psychic reading, and somebody's going to tell you the future? And they go, oh, that's a fraud. That's a charlatan. No one can do that. You go, great. What do you think about telling me what the global temperature of the climate, I predict the climate, no one can predict the weather for a month, the climate 100 years from now, and they go, oh, that's science, that's important. Pay $500 million for that, $1 billion. I mean, it's bizarre to me. No one can predict the future.